WWE cleaned house again for the third time in the past 30 days. This week, WWE World Wrestling Exaggeration let go of multiple superstars, including Allister Black, Lana, Ruby Riott, Santana Garrett, Murphy, and of all people, Braun Strowman. Now, we'll talk about these people individually in a second. But, Trevor, three big time, like three, run of releases over the past month. And, this is of all the people, this was a list that caught a lot of people's eye. I know a lot of people were like, oh my God, Samoa Joe got released, in the first one. But this one's just,
this one was
wow.
Stacked.
This one was stacked.
Stacked.
If this was the main event, this would sell. This would sell out. Yeah. But no, they let these people go from the company. So, Trevor, take me through it. What do we think about these releases and just the names?
Okay, so yeah, we'll get through individual later. But honestly, it doesn't make any sense. All this talent wasted. They wasted this talent. They completely wasted this talent. They used it in certain capacities, I guess, small increments, but over their tenure there, they never really used them. It's just, and then you just waste them by releasing them. Come on, they can make your product much better. If you use them in the right ways, all of these stars can make your product better. But instead of making your product better, you want to release these guys for quote unquote what's the reason now?
Budget cuts.
Budget cuts?
Budget cuts.
Is it still budget cuts? Okay.
In their most profitable year ever. Budget cuts.
Most profitable year ever, and you have budget cuts. So what you're saying is you need a new yacht or new space to do absolutely shit with. Come on. This makes no fucking sense. I mean, I understand you believe Kofi in Drew McIntyre Part 78 sells tickets, but trust me, I'm here to tell you, it does not.
It's just the Braun Strowman release to me is just the one that's unconscionable. You can't do that. You can't justify that. Anyway, we'll talk about Brawny the Strowman. But let's just start off, Trevor, by talking about Aleister Black. So Aleister Black was released. I want you to just give me a quick run through. How did WWE manage to fail with Aleister Black, of all things? He great on the mic, great in ring. How do you mess up Aleister Black?
I loved, and I'm sure this is a mutual thing that we can agree on. His in-ring character from NXT was money. I loved it. It was great. His interest, everything was money. He has skills. He has mic skills. He has a great in-ring presence. He was great. Hell, I mean, they were repackaging him and bringing him on SmackDown and going to use him in another way. And then besides that, he's just Aleister Black. He does, his presence brings bodies, brings faces. Oh, I'm not there anymore. I died.
Nope, you're good.
There I am. But instead of working more with this repackaging, you cut it. You release him. That makes no earthly sense. He was taken back about it. If even his statement, I'm sure you read it, Omer.
Yeah, it was just he was he didn't see it coming.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody saw these coming.
No.
I did not see Braun Strowman was in a main event their last pay-per-view. I did not see that coming whatsoever.
No.
So yeah. So again, it's just unconscionable. Aleister Black specifically, I think that they just didn't know what to do with him. There were reports that Vince McMahon didn't get the gimmick. There were reports that Vince McMahon didn't understand what made Aleister Black so good and what made him so appealing. There's also speculation, or actually not speculation. Black was actually on the Renee Young's podcast on Oral Sessions, and they were talking about it, and he said that he would go there. He would pitch all these ideas. He had Paul Heyman behind him, and it's gotten a lot of people think that potentially it might have been part at least Paul Heyman himself that was kind of like the biggest detraction from Aleister Black, because we know Vince McMahon and Paul Heyman have a weird relationship where
Right.
Paul can, he tends to fight a lot for what he believes in. But it's just, how do you not? He was so great in NXT. It was amazing. He was a world champion. He was a world champ in the making when Triple H. It's this weird thing. You take all these NXT talents. They are over. They are over like Rover.
Completely
They
over.
are great in the ring, on the mics, and then once once you get them away from Full Sail, they go to the main roster. Tank every single one of them. It doesn't have a lot to do, I think, with Triple H and NXT. I think it has a lot to do with whoever's running the ship on the main roster, and we know who that is. So, again, Tommy End now, man, good luck to you. Good luck to you. You got a future in this business, kid. Trust me.
Definitely does.
Yeah, you know who else has a future in this business? The former ravishing Russian Lana, she was the manager of Rusev for a while. She wrestled on Raw the night before her release. Can't make this up. There she is. Lana was also let go. Trevor, how did WWE fail Lana? Because she had a good thing going for a long time. She was getting better.
She got much better, and that's what really like didn't make any sense to me. Like, they used her, they started to get her better. They started pairing her with other stars to make her better, and she was getting over. She was getting over. Like, Lana showed that she had skills that wasn't even aware that she had, and I liked what she was doing. Again, don't know how to use her, didn't know how to use her, and refused to try, and just let her go. Like, again, and she honestly was a refreshing add-on to the female roster. Like, I liked Lana on the mic. I thought it's kind of hilarious to watch her, especially early on, watch her on the mic. But she was getting so good. Like, I don't understand. Like, her chemistry in the ring with Natty was it Natty at first? It was so
yeah,
good.
it was. Yeah, I think they were the team with Natty at first, and then they moved on. But it's weird. They invest all of this time, all of this money into Lana, right? And she gets better. She shows the incremental change in her, not even in her in-ring style. She got better. And she was always great as Rusev's manager on promos. I thought she was really good in that position. They took her away from that, and now he's cut her unceremoniously. Makes no sense. Let's get to the next name on this list, which to me is just like the fact that this woman was not a world champion in WWE, and they never featured her in any sort of a premier spot. It's criminal, and that's Ruby Riott.
Yeah.
Ruby Riott was also released. Trevor, how do you fuck this up?
Like, again, someone they didn't use. They just didn't use. They didn't use any of the Riott Squad. Like, they gave was it Liv or was it
Sarah Logan?
Sarah Logan a title shot, which makes sense. But the one they should have been pushing more, it was Ruby Riott, because you don't.
It's her name. Her name is
the.
It's the Riott Squad.
Like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? Like, Ruby Riott to me was so over, and I'm not the only one. There were so many people, in you as well, that have been speaking on this for a week now. Her IG has been blowing up. Twitter's been blowing up. But just people just commenting on it, like, how did they do this? How did they drop the ball with you? Like, and then you think about, like, all the talent that they misuse on the women's roster, and she just goes on another long list of names. Like, she should have been a title holder. She should have been. The Riott Squad should have had the tag team titles. How do you have a stable of women in the female tag team division that don't have tag team titles? That makes no sense.
Who could work? All three of them could work.
Exactly.
Like, they were arguably the best tag team workers in the entire company.
And I don't blame Sarah Logan for retiring. I don't. I mean, she wants to raise her kid, which is awesome, which is beautiful. But she also said her head wasn't there. And I understand why your head's not there, because they're dicking you. They're screwing you out of work. Like, and it's dumb.
Yeah, it's absolutely dumb. They like every point when you're getting some momentum, it just seems like, you have the rug pulled out from under you. And we can say that about anyone on this list, and we can especially say that about this next person, Braun Strowman, who, of all of these releases, I think this was by far the biggest surprise. Given his standing with the company, given the fact that he signed a multi-year deal to stay with the company just a few years ago, given the fact that he was in the main event for the WWE Championship at the last pay-per-view, how do you mess up Braun Strowman, who is literally if Vince McMahon in his mind built a wrestler, it would look like this. Right. It would look like this. This is what Vince wants professional wrestling to be, and he was able to do it. And he had the guy. And the guy was over. He was good on promos. He was good in the ring. He gave people these hands, grappling hooks, bringing down the stage on the Brock Lesnar. Ambulances getting flipped, cake being eaten. Like, how do you mess this up? He was so good.
Like, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, they dropped the ball with him with Brock Lesnar. Completely dropped the ball. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. They dropped the ball with him with Brock Lesnar. This man should have been a world champion back then. They dropped the ball with him when they gave him the title because they screwed up and gave it to Bill Goldberg, which made no freaking sense at all. Then they I understand his career high was being called stupid and wrestling Shane McMahon. I mean, I understand that was a great match for his career. But
he's a main eventer now, pal.
Like, what the seriously, dude? How do you fuck that up? He's fit. The man is physically gifted. He's humongous. He's humongous. He's a great athlete. He, like you said, he's great on the mic. Like, for months, even years, all you heard was, "Come get these hands." Like, every little kid that was a fan of wrestling was a fan of Strowman because he said something catchy. "Come get these hands." And now you release him instead of doing anything productive with his career. You release him. Stupid. Absolutely stupid.
It's absolutely stupid. And we all should have seen. Look, we all should have seen it coming when they had him during the time when he was the most over was 2017 going into 2018. That was Braun Strowman's biggest Right. That was when he was at his biggest. And what they do, they jobbed him out to Lesnar. Okay, you're making Lesnar look like this beast. Okay, sure, right? He can recover from that. It's like losing to Brock Lesnar is not the worst thing in the world. Like, he obviously should have won, or they should have done the match, but he got past that, and it's easy to get past that, right? But then WrestleMania 34 comes around, his first big match for some titles, and you put him in essentially a handicap match for the tag team. But no, you can't put him in a handicap match because it's got to be tag team titles, pal. They paired him with a 10-year-old. It made no sense. It would have been better if they had just said, "I don't need a partner," and Strowman just won the tag team titles by himself. You know what? That would have been the most interesting thing that WWE could have done with their tag team division at that point, or any point in the past 10 years. Have Braun Strowman win it, keep those titles for a year, and have him be the tag team champion.
Exactly.
I am the tag team champion. Like, it would have been great. But no, then he lost the next night. Oh. Yeah, this company needs help. This company needs help. I don't understand.
It's in dire straits right now. And that, all jokes aside, we make jokes about it because actually it's so sad, it's funny. But it's true. It's definitely true. They're in dire straits at the moment.
I mean, no, they're not in dire straits. Like, WWE is not going out of business anytime.
Oh, no. That's not what I mean. I mean,
right, no, I understand. Yeah. As far as being a wrestling company, though, WWE is not a wrestling company. I think that's over the past year. We know Vince always says it. Vince always says, "Oh, we make movies, pal. We're not a wrestling company." He doesn't use the word wrestling. And we've kind of fought back on that as fans for a long time. But I think the time has come, and we don't need to fight that anymore because they made it abundantly clear that WWE in no way, shape, or form is a wrestling company. Thanks for watching this video from Real Take Sports Talk. Remember to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever a new video is released. Also, remember to check out our live show every single Thursday at 8 p.m. right here on the YouTube channel. And remember, keep it real.